Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to talk about anatomical planes. And here at the side you can see the diagrammatic representation of anatomical plane for the reference. So let's start our topic with introduction. Anatomical planes are essential for describing locations and movements of different body parts. These imaginary surfaces help in understanding how to slice the body into consistent sections, which is especially useful in medical imaging, surgical procedures, and anatomical studies. Now let's talk about the types of anatomical planes. These are sagittal plane, frontal plane, transverse plane. These three planes are also called as main anatomical plane. And we have another anatomical plane that is called as oblique plane, that is also called as excessive anatomical plane. Now let's talk about these planes one by one. First we will talk about sagittal plane. As you can see in the diagram, the red color plane is the sagittal plane. And definition: sagittal plane is a vertical plane that runs from front to back, dividing the body into right and left portion. As you can see here in the diagram, sagittal plane is dividing the body into right and left portion. It has two types: mid-sagittal plane and parasagittal plane. Mid-sagittal plane is also called as median plane. This specific sagittal plane runs exactly along the midline of body, creating equal right and left halves, while parasagittal plane is any sagittal plane that does not run along the midline and results in unequal right and left portions. Further talking about sagittal plane, its anatomical importance, this plane is crucial when describing bilateral symmetry, identifying medial versus lateral structure, and explaining movements such as flexion and extension. Talking about its medical applications, sagittal sections are commonly seen in MRI and CT scan of head, spine, and pelvis. Neurosurgeons use this plane to locate and operate on midline brain structures. Next plane is frontal plane. As you can see here in diagram, the coronal plane is also called as frontal plane. Definition: frontal plane divides the body into anterior and posterior portion. It runs vertically but is oriented side to side. So sagittal plane and coronal plane or frontal plane both run vertically but in different directions. Anatomical importance: it helps describe features located towards the front or back of the body. Movement in this plane often involve abduction and adduction, that is, moving limbs away from the body or towards the midline. Talking about medical applications, frontal plane are especially useful in chest radiograph, like X-rays, showing the heart, lungs, and rib. Orthopedic surgeons utilize coronal view to assess spinal curvature and joint alignment. Now let's talk about transverse plane. First we talk about sagittal plane and coronal plane. Both of them are vertical plane, while transverse plane is horizontal plane. As you can see in diagram, the green color plane is the transverse plane, that is also called as axial plane. Definition: this plane runs horizontally across the body and divides it into superior and inferior portion or the upper and lower portion. It is perpendicular to both sagittal and frontal plane. Anatomical importance: it often offers a slice view of the body, allowing clear observation of cross-sectional anatomy. Movements such as rotation often occur within this plane. Medical application: transverse imaging is frequently employed in CT scan and MRIs, particularly for the brain, abdomen, and pelvis. Surgeons rely on these views for planning laparoscopic and robotic assisted procedures. Next is oblique plane, that is also called a excessive plane. Definition: oblique plane is any plane that passes through the body at an angle that does not follow the standard sagittal, frontal, or transverse orientation. Anatomical importance: oblique plane provides unique perspective that standard plane may miss, especially for complex or curved structures. Medical application: they are indispensable in advanced radiographic techniques such as spiral CT scan. Oblique slices may be used to view the joints like the shoulder joint or hip joint or irregular body cavities. Now let's talk about functional relevance or significance of each of these planes. Each plane corresponds with specific types of body movement, like sagittal plane corresponds with flexion and extension movement. Frontal plane corresponds with abduction and adduction movement of the body, and transverse plane corresponds with the rotational movement of the body. Now let's talk about clinical significance of these planes. Clinicians rely on these planes for precision in diagnosing injuries, planning physical therapies, and conducting surgeries. For example, when describing a stab wound or a tumor's location, doctors reference anatomical planes for clarity and consistency. Now let's talk about conclusion of whole of this lecture video. Mastering anatomical plane is more than academic, it's a vital skill for anyone entering healthcare or biology. These invisible lines bring order to the complexity of human body, enabling clear communication and precise medical care. Whether you are studying a skeleton or guiding a scalpel, anatomical plane provides essential map. And this was all about anatomical plane. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you for watching.